Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest Cruise Corner podcast. I am your co-host, Josie, and I'm here with Jack.
Hello there.
And Will.
Hi, everyone.
How are you both?
Good, yeah. I'm excited to get into today's episode.
Yeah, well, we've got a really exciting episode for you today because we are shortly going to be leaving our lovely Cruise Corner studio and taking you to Norwegian Cruise Line's brand new Prima Plus-class ship, Norwegian Luna, to bring you a special interview with NCL's Vice President and Head of UK and Ireland, Gary Anslow. Will, you were there and had the privilege of getting on board, one of the first people to see her. Tell us, what were your first impressions of the ship?
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing vessel. Obviously, I was on Aqua as well last year, which is the sister ship to Luna. So a lot of similar things, but there are some also, really cool new additions they've made that has definitely improved the experience even more. And yeah, can't wait to tell you more about it.
Well, we're very excited to hear it. But before we get into that, we have some exciting news of our own, which is that the entries for the 2026 Wave Awards are now open. Huge night in the year for cruise. So very exciting for us. Jack, tell us a bit more about it.
This is the event that should be in everyone's calendar. The Wave Awards will be returning on the 24th of November once again at the stunning Dorchester Hotel in London. But this year, there are 5 brand new categories for you to get involved with. These include Best Trade-Only Operator, Best Ultra-Luxury Cruise Line, Best Touring and Adventure, Best Ancillary Service, and that's sort of your transfer companies, excursion providers, or insurance firms, and Best Tourist Board. So loads to kind of really get excited about there if you're looking to kind of really celebrate your team. But a quick heads up, if you get your entries in by the 30th of April, those who enter 4 categories will get the 5th one for free. So well worth doing if you feel like you're particularly strong across multiple awards. Entries close on the 25th of May. Write it down. So don't leave it too late and make sure you get involved.
Amazing. I am very excited. Have you got your outfit yet?
Not yet. I've been thinking about it, but I'm going to have to one up the blue blazer from last year. So.
That'll be a challenge.
That's all we've been speaking about in the office since the blue blazer.
It is the main thing we talk about is what I'm going to wear as well.
Everyone's focused. Okay. Well, next week we will be speaking to Wave Awards judge Lee Hayhurst to get some tips on how you can write a winning entry. So make sure to tune into that episode if you want to up your chances of going home victorious this November. But now back to today's interview. So, Will, you just got back from the christening sailor on Norwegian Luna in Miami. You were also in attendance, as you said, for the launch of Norwegian Aqua. So talk to us. What are the differences between these two ships and what's really exciting about this new launch of Luna?
Yeah, look, as I said, lucky enough to experience both the Prima Plus-class ships. And they're super interesting and really well positioned for multi-generational families, which I think is the biggest opportunity here with these vessels. Now, obviously, Aqua actually became one of NCL's most successful ship launches in its debut season in terms of guest feedback and bookings made. So when NCL had the opportunity to adapt and evolve with Luna, they actually didn't do too much because if it's not broke, then why fix? So, but they did make a few slight changes. Now they've added a new moon climber experience on the top deck, so it's sort of like your rope obstacle course sort of thing for young ones and adults. It's big enough. I did have a go.
Did you? You're scared of heights.
I am, but I was brave enough to do this.
Impressive.
Luckily, it wasn't too high up or it wasn't over the side of the ship. So right up my street. They also made some slight changes to the Surfside Cafe, which is their buffet. So in terms of the passenger flow, they added a new staircase in to make it a little bit easier to get around, which is a really nice, again, sort of small touch, but something that really changes the experience on board. And they also added something called the Luna Midway, which is attached onto Tea Time, which is the mini golf section of the ship. And it sort of features carnival games like basketball, skee ball, that sort of thing. So small changes, but things that really, increase the desire for families to get on board, loads of stuff for the little ones. And of course, they've got the popular Haven proposition and Swirl wine bar for the grandparents. So tons for the whole family on board.
Sounds absolutely amazing.
And you also got a chance to explore some of the private island destination they got over there, is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a stop at Great Stirrup Cay, which is Norwegian Cruise Line's private island in the Bahamas, which again is really interesting, and it just adds to that multi-generational appeal even more because on the island you have an adults only area. So if you are traveling as a couple or with grandparents and kids, and the grandparents want to have their own time and the kids want to play in the splash zone and the water park, which is coming this summer, they absolutely can. So Yeah, it's a really good proposition for agents because inclusions on board carry over onto the islands, so people don't have to worry about taking cash with them or anything like that. And when the weather's nice, there's not many better places to be.
What do you think about this whole emergence of these private island destinations? I mean, to what extent can they really elevate the cruise experience, and what kind do agents need to be aware of when it comes to selling cruises that involve stops in these types of islands?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, private island destinations have really become a popular thing amongst the big cruise lines in the last 20, 25 years. The likes of Royal, MSC, they've all got their own private destinations now. And I think the opportunity there is for agents to really approach people who have never cruised before and might be a little bit wary of going to loads of different destinations in one, because it is, it can be quite a daunting experience. So having that private island where there's representatives from the cruise lines on land, and it's a really easy onboarding, offboarding process, it's just that little bit extra that could help convince someone who's never cruised before. At the same time, people who have cruised and maybe have never visited something like that, because it's a really unique proposition, being able to get out and laying on the beach, you've got all your drinks included, and familiar sights, even people who have cruised before and gone to all these different destinations, it's something a bit different.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you obviously, while you were on board, you did have a chat with the Vice President and Head of UK and Ireland, Gary Anslow from NCL. So let's dive right in.
Cool. So, Gary, thank you so much for taking time to have a chat with me today. We're on board the incredible Norwegian Luna. It's been a brilliant few days. Some of your highlights so far? Oh, I'm going to turn it around. What have you enjoyed? Oh, great question. Well, my first time on Great Stirrup Cay. Yeah. So already something not on the ship, but still an excellent extension of the brand. And I think it's a real testament to what's going on in the industry at the moment. People really interested in destinations and there's a lot to come from Great Stirrup Cay as well.
Great.
In Water Park.
I had a wonderful time at Great Stirrup Cay. So I've been really fortunate. I've been 5 times.
Wow.
And every time I'm out. Today was my 6th visit. And obviously since the last time I come, we've opened a massive new swimming pool. It's the size of 2 Olympic pools.
Wow.
Heated. Just a great experience.
Yeah.
You obviously got the new pier that's now been built that enables and ensures that we're going to dock every time. Really, a lot of money invested in making sure that the entrance and your first impression of Great Stirrup Cay is a really positive one.
Yeah.
And even more exciting, we've got the Great Tides Water Park, which is going to open later in the year. So when that opens, I think it will be an exceptional experience.
Yeah, lots to look forward to.
Yeah.
And for guests and people who may not have done a private island before, what sort of can they expect? What's different to like a normal port of call, for instance?
Yeah. So I think the main difference is just the day itself is one of relaxation and enjoyment. And it can be as intense as you want it to be. If you're going on zip wires or going to the water park, or if you just want to lay on the beach, that is equally as good. So I think the main difference is obviously if you are a normal port call. So Luna will be doing 7-day Western Caribbean cruises. So in some of the ports, you'll be off experiencing the local cuisine, the local culture, exploring an island that's quite an intense day. I think you then come into Great Stirrup Cay and it's a day of, okay, I'm going to sit back, I'm going to enjoy the sun, enjoy the beach, swim in the Caribbean, and maybe go to the water park, maybe do zip wires. So it's a really nice part of a broader writing.
Yeah, and as you say, there's a real mix there for travellers of all types.
Yes.
So if you want to zip wire across the island and go snorkeling, paddleboarding, you can. But if you just want to chill and breathe,
and I think that Great Stirrup Cay it's got an amazing benefit of its scale. So if you want a really relaxing day on the beach, you can absolutely have that without even knowing that there's a water park at the other side of the island.
Yeah.
So it becomes exactly what you want it to be.
Yeah. But I think that another lovely touch is you've got the tram service for people who might, not have, the ability to walk far, but the walks around are stunning, and the view of the ship is just brilliant.
Yeah, it is nice. And obviously you've got the sort of the Instagram movement of Great Stirrup Cay, so you can do that. And look, we make it really accessible as well. So I don't know if you saw as you walk around, we've got chairs that enable people to get onto the beach if they're less mobile. So we cover all of those bases. But you're absolutely right. It's a new tram system. That was the first time I've used it today. It's huge, actually.
Yeah.
I was surprised how big it was, but that would get people around the islands really quickly.
And it's those little things that, really make a difference when people go on holidays, especially people who might not have cruised before and been to these private islands.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Luna itself. Yes. Incredible ship. Obviously a year on from when you launched Aqua, which was as exciting.
Yes.
Now, obviously, launching a second ship in a new class sometimes comes with its own challenges. It's almost when Aqua launched, it was new this, new that, completely different thing. And then also Luna launched, very similar to this ship, but with some slight differences. What have people got to look out for on Luna?
I think, first of all, I think what people will see is the similarity.
Yeah.
Right? So Aqua worked really well. Don't make too many changes to Luna.
Yeah.
So there's little hints of decor that are different. We've added a few things up on the top deck.
Yeah.
So some new stuff in terms of some adventure stuff. But what we have kept to the stuff that we know works. So the Aqua Coaster is repeated on this. That's an amazing experience. So I would say it's more about small nuanced differences rather than whole scale. Where we have the ability to step on again is when Aura launches in 2027, because that ship is going to be 10% bigger. So we started this series of ships with Prima and Viva. Then we had Aqua and now Luna. They were 10%. Those two ships were 10% bigger than the first two.
Yeah.
And when Aura and number 6 come, they'll be 10% bigger again. So that gives us the opportunity to do different things. I think the really nice thing about Luna is it's very similar.
Yeah,
to Aqua.
and I think that's a big benefit because Aqua was so successful and it was so well received.
Yes, there's an interesting thing, an interesting fact. So we do a guest satisfaction survey at the end of every sailing. So you can imagine we've been sailing for nearly 60 years this year. Right? So we have tens of thousands of guest experience surveys, and we judge and measure every aspect of the guest experience on board. The inaugural sailing of Luna, so she came out of from Cantieri, sailed from Rome. And came across to Miami. That sailing delivered the best ever guest satisfaction scores of any ship in the NCL fleet.
That's the history. It's such a testament to what you're doing.
The staff got it right. The product is right. Our crew on board are amazing. Everything about this ship is better.
Yeah, and I've experienced myself over the last couple of days, and I must say it has been incredible. For someone who might be coming on Luna in the near future, where would you sort of recommend to go? What would you say your favourite spot on board? Tough question.
It is a tough, and there are so many different things. I think that we on this ship we've got 17 restaurants. So NCL is really recognised for its speciality restaurants, but 5 of those restaurants are inclusive. Indulge Food Hall, which is deck 8. So we've got Ocean Boulevard, which wraps right around the ship, and there's infinity pools there. But we have the Indulge Food Hall at the back, which is almost a street-style concept of food, and you order on an iPad, and it's freshly cooked and delivered in. Despite that being inclusive, so that's inclusive, we've got some outstanding specialty restaurants, Kate Mears, Los Lobos, the Bistro, all wonderful. I actually love Indulge. And it's because I'll get chicken tikka, and then I get a bit of tapas.
That's the best bit, and it's so... like the idea behind it with the iPads, it's so easy to do, and you can still wander around and have a look at everything as well, which I think is really nice.
And you can see it all being cooked, right? So every different station is being freshly prepared. So I think from a food point of view, I should really say it's one of our specialty restaurants, but I actually love Indulge. Entertainment, I don't know if you saw Elton, Celebration of Elton John, that was spectacular.
Really good.
Just 55 minutes of high intensity music, dance, choreography, costume, wonderful. And I have to say the Aqua Coaster. So I know we've already done it on Aqua, but the speed with which the first part of that ride happens, and then you then go on a nice serene. We deliberately do it like that, so you've got a gyro in front of a bit of relaxation. But I don't know if you had the opportunity to do it, but it's an amazing experience. When we launched Aqua last year, we had over 1,200 UK travel agents on board, but it was in March.
Right.
It was a little cold.
Yeah.
So I don't think many people tried it out.
I could see one person do it. Very brave.
What was much easier this year, we did it in the Caribbean.
Yeah. So and doing the queue, it was a lot of people lined up.
But that's also inclusive, right? So if you're sailing with us, that's free. I was just talking to one of our agent partners who are with us, and they were queuing up for it, and the person in front of them had done it 14 times.
Wow, that is dedication. I mean, it is fun. And you mentioned agent partners there, obviously a huge part of the success of NCL. We heard from the SLT team at the christening yesterday, and I think everyone who went up there praised travel agents across the globe. 4 agents selling Luna, and we touched on, Aqua's been so successful, now they're going to be trying to push Luna. What would your advice be when it comes to selling Luna? What are the key things they should focus on?
I think that one of the biggest opportunities for cruise lines is to bring guests that are doing land-based holidays. And I think NCL is probably the cruise line that has the product that makes it easier to understand than any other cruise line. Because we don't have dress codes, because we don't have set dining times, because you can eat where you want, when you want. It is the easiest brand to transition into, because the concept of just doing what you do on land, coming here, just makes it really easy. And I think the value proposition.
Yeah.
So I think everyone in the cruise industry knows that you cannot beat the value proposition of a cruise line or of a cruise holiday versus a land-based holiday. When you then add free at sea, which is on a 7-night holiday, $299, that gives you 3 specialist dining, fully inclusive premium drinks package, shore excursion credits, Wi-Fi, 3rd and 4th guest free. It is an outstanding product. The vast majority of our bookings have free at sea added. So I think the combination of the freestyle concept of NCL and the value for money, that's an exceptional selling story in its own right.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is that. It's the value proposition is so important for cruisers nowadays. And it's one of cruises' biggest strengths, I think, compared to land-based. So I think, that's an excellent point. Gary, I could talk to you forever, but I think this is coming to the end of our time now. So thank you so much. And thank you as well for the opportunity to get on board Luna.
Well, it's always great to have you on board.
Yeah, I've had a brilliant time. Definitely come back. And I would advise many people to do so. Thank you. Thanks, Gary.
Cheers.